genre.
Back to the Doctor's Companion presents Doctor Who The Long Way Round, the weekly podcast where we review and discuss every episode of Doctor Who, one doctor at a time. I'm Cass Fredrickson.
I'm Nick Jimenez.
And I'm Scott Corelli.
And today on the show we'll be discussing The Doctor's Wife, the 11th Doctor's 14th story.
Yes. This is, of course, written by Neil Gaiman, directed by Richard Clark, who also directed Gridlock, as we talked about last week. And this aired May 14th, 2011. So basically, like, as soon as Moffat was given the green light as the new executive producer of Doctor Who, the first writer that he wanted was Neil Gaiman, knowing that Gaiman was like a big Doctor Who fan.
He wrote a message on parchment and gave it to a crow.
Yeah, I mean, you're not far off, because he wasn't allowed to tell him that he was the new executive producer, so he had to talk in code about wanting him to write an episode, basically. So they met in 2008 to talk about everything, and he was basically being really, really broad about why he was even talking about Doctor Who. And then he finally just told him okay, look,
cards on the table.
I'm taking over the show. I want you to write an episode. So he wanted to hear what his ideas were, and his original idea. It's interesting how you can walk backwards into a concept, because his original idea was to develop an adventure based on The Most Dangerous Game, the 1924 short story by Richard Connell, about a big game hunter trapped on an island becoming prey for one of his rivals. And he envisioned the TARDIS being turned into a maze, and the Doctor and Amy being trapped in the TARDIS. And he was like, well, how would that happen? Oh, maybe the TARDIS gets possessed. What would happen to the TARDIS if the TARDIS got possessed? Well, maybe it went into a body of a woman, and now there's a woman who's the TARDIS. It started as a Most Dangerous Game thing, and then just he walked backwards into the concept, which feels like the first idea that you would think of, but it's three ideas removed from what his initial idea was, and it just kind of walked backwards into what if the TARDIS became a human being for a day, which is weird. So then the initial idea for this, obviously Moffat really loved this idea, and the original title for the episode was The TARDIS Trap, and that was the title for a while, until it became The House of Nothing, which is kind of a very Gaiman-y title, The House of Nothing, and then eventually became Bigger on the Inside, which was the title for a really long time, until Moffat basically was like, I think it gives away the
theme,
the secret, it gives away the game, so let's call it The Doctor's Wife, because everyone's always asking me questions about River, and wouldn't it be so funny if they thought I was finally going to reveal who River was in this episode and not 3 episodes from now. Tee
energy. It's back.
Yes. So it ends up being called The Doctor's Wife.
Which is kind of
now
like,
here's the,
which is like to his credit, along with having Teehee energy, it's also, in my opinion, a very elegant, clever, resident. I think they settled on the perfect title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. So here's the thing. So I hinted at something last week about some information that I came across, and I think it's worth noting. So first off, like, Gaiman wrote this for series 5 originally. It was going to be the episode right before the 2-part finale, right before Pandorica opens is where it was going to be.
Whoa.
And House was going to be in this bubble universe because he fell through a crack. And this is sort of like a like ramification of the cracks in the universe, is like they end up going through one of the cracks to go find House and fall into this trap. And that was the original plot, and that was what it was for series 5, but they ran out of money, as you'll notice, because they replaced this episode with The Lodger. So they were like, we do not have the money for this. Originally, auntie, uncle, and nephew were all like horrible abomination creatures of various species, like arms of different aliens and heads and everything of different aliens, all sort of like put together, and then eventually became, to save money when they eventually shot it, they just became like basically parts of Time Lords. Mm-hmm. As a result. But which I think is fun, because it's kind of like a really like twisted take on regeneration, which I think is kind of cool.
Very good.
But yeah, he wrote this episode for series 5, and then when it was time to move it to series 6, Moffat was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Like, I got you. I'll do a pass on this." And so like to fit it into the season. So he added Rory, and he added like everything to do with the current season, like the hint at River and a lot of the pitter patter dialogue and all of that. And so it's funny to me that like this episode that is given a lot of credit to Neil Gaiman, is actually like, while the bones are Neil Gaiman, a lot of the meat on this script is Stephen Moffat. And I can kind of feel it going into it, knowing that this time. It's like, oh yeah, it's like Moffat adapting a Neil Gaiman book is what this feels like. And I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider this is the other side of this, the sort of like proof of this.
Sure.
Gaiman wrote another episode in the following season, a terrible episode called Nightmare in Silver. And it's awful, and very Gaiman-y, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of annoying to watch. And Moffat did not touch that script because he had no time, because he was too busy doing his rewrites for his 3-part 11th Doctor finale. With the 50th anniversary and Time of the Doctor and Name of the Doctor and all of that. So he was so busy with that, he didn't get to do another pass on Nightmare on Silver to make it better. And so that was all pure, uncut Neil Gaiman, and that episode sucks. So, so that's just worth pointing out.
Mystery solved, because for years we were kind of like, what the hell? Why is there such a huge quality discrepancy between these two,
Yeah.
I thought, I know we'll get to it whenever we talk about Nightmare in Silver, but I thought that the initial concept for that was like a 2-parter, and that's part of why it feels weird.
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
We will find out when we get to it.
It's interesting because, like, I don't know, like little moments now with that in that context, like, the pretty one joke that feels like a very Moffat-y punchline.
Yeah.
killing Rory.
A lot of this. Did you wish really hard?
Yeah.
That's Moffat. Like there's so much of Moffat in this episode. Like it really does feel like Moffat adapting Neil Gaiman rather than Neil Gaiman writing an episode of Doctor Who.
The kind of like sexy runner,
right.
like
right.
only when we're alone. Like, yeah, that's very Moffat.
Yeah. Like all of the banter in this is very Moffat. It doesn't even feel like Neil Gaiman. He's not a banter writer. That's not really what he does. Not a lot of banter in Coraline.
Just existential horror.
Right.
Yeah, just existential horror. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like it just kind of makes me feel better about really liking this episode. With after, learning everything we now know about Neil Gaiman. It makes me feel better about still really, really liking this episode. Cause I just, rewatching it today, I'm like, yeah, I think this is like my second favorite episode behind Silence of the Library. Like it's so good. And I'm so happy that I can still enjoy this despite the name that's credited. But yeah, I don't know. What was your rewatches like for this one? Nick, what about you?
Yeah, same. I mean, this is one of the more heralded episodes of the modern run of the show. It's I think now being a decade old, it's kind of earned its title as like a classic and is beloved amongst fans. It was sort of immediately beloved, and I think it holds up. And it's like, to me, yeah, it's right up there with like Christmas Carol, or it's like Blink. I think kind of in that S tier realm of kind of inarguable, like every kind of Whovian just sort of is like, well, yeah, that one rules.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really, even though I can't remember the last time I revisited this one, but it's just so lovely, and it's a love letter to the TARDIS, and kind of really giving her due, and it's an emotional watch, and I teared up again watching it this morning, just because it is, time is only, the longer we're with this show, the longer we're with this story, the more affection, because like who knows how little classic Who I had watched when I first saw this in 2010, so it just kind of makes my heart grow bigger and bigger the longer I stay with this franchise.
Yeah. Cass?
Yeah, no, I like, this is definitely still an all-timer for me. And it's actually like kind of wild to think about. Like, it aired the day I graduated college. So I didn't have a chance to watch it on the day, and like I know like everyone was like freaking out about it online, and I'm like, oh no. So my initial viewing of this was like hunched over my laptop in like a hotel room with my family, and I was like sobbing, and they're like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like really emotional about like leaving all my friends and shit. And I don't remember the last time I've seen this, but it definitely like made me tear up again, like Nick was talking about. Like it's so like, it feels like the essence, like everything I love about this show, like distilled in like an episode, which I know is like a really, I don't know, that's just kind of how it feels to me. So like it's definitely like top 5 of all time, I think, this one.
Yeah. And it also, like, it's one of those episodes that, because the Time Lords are treated in a very mysterious fashion, it's one of those episodes that make you be like, man, I really wish we knew more about the Time Lords. And then you find out more and you're like, never mind.
What
these guys suck and they're boring.
what story does the Corsair appear in? I know that he's in a couple classic Who ones. I don't remember. But one of the things I was thinking about too while we were watching this was like, it's kind of I know that you said like auntie and uncle are kind of like a weird like regeneration thing, but it also kind of reminded me of like Brain of Morbius, where he's
Ooh,
just like,
totally.
patchworking all these weird little aliens together.
Yeah. So the Corsair has never been in Classic Who.
Oh, has
This
he
is the
not?
first mention of the Corsair.
Oh,
Yeah. No. But
wow.
the Corsair's popped up in like comics and books
Okay.
since the Doctor's Wife
Uh-huh.
and has been portrayed as a woman more often than not. But no, never in Classic Who.
Weird. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that just speaks to like how like tuned into the show it is, because like the Corsair is like a great Time Lord name.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, there's and the tattoo is a reference to Pertwee's tattoo.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, apparently the Corsair was in the 13th Doctor comics.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
At one point, and she's like I don't know, I'm getting like pirate lady vibes off of her. Here, I'm gonna send you guys a picture of her drinking coffee.
She was kind of an innovator, because like there's reference to her regenerating.
Oh man, I'm obsessed with her.
Regenerating across the gender spectrum. Oh wow.
Yeah. This was like the first reference to that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they're friends, which is good. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's here's one of them hugging, which is fun. Here's one of them flirting. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Could use some more of that in the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I kind of want to like go and find this and read it because it's kind of cool.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. So listeners, the comic features
like
13
a lot.
I love the art too. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
look at 13's costume in that piece of them sitting in the chairs with her like her boots are like all like kind of like loose and rumpled. It's just a cool look. Anyway.
Wow, I might have to read this guy.
Yeah, gotta track this one down.
It's funny though that we're talking about 13. I was just I was looking up, like many viewer, I think you walk out of this episode being like, oh my god, Saran Jones, amazing actor, Idris, like one of the all-time one-off performances. An upcoming project she created and is co-starring with Jodie Whittaker in a series called Frauds about two like a team of like con artists.
Ooh.
Oh, that's fun.
It's a heist thriller coming from ITV.
Oh, that's cool. All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I couldn't really find much in the way of I mean, I'm sure they mentioned something about her in the like Doctor Who Confidential episode for this. I'm sure. But yeah, Saran Jones, like there was nothing I could find really that was like, this is why we cast her, because we liked her in this. But she did play Mona Lisa in the Sarah Jane Adventures, in a 2-part episode called Mona Lisa's Revenge.
That's fun.
Yeah. But she's really good in this, and I was always, every time I watch this, I'm always surprised. Like, why didn't she become a thing? Like, why wasn't she in other stuff? Like, how was she never in like Sherlock or anything? Like, I don't know. She's such like an immediate presence in this episode. And this isn't like a easy role to play, I can't imagine. So I'm just so impressed by her that I'm just surprised that she's not in like, she didn't become like a thing, like a person, like a lady, I don't know, that you would see in stuff all the time. But anyway,
sort of reminds
really
me of Madame de Pompadour in The Girl in the Fireplace, where you're just like, wow, Madame de Pompadour, and then you'll be watching like a random episode of something, and you're like, "Oh shit, I think that's Madame de Pompadour."
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, I got moved to season 6, and then I got bumped again because it was going to be episode 3, and they bumped it to episode 4 so they could have pirates between, and
Gangers, pirates and gangers.
Yeah, wedge between pirates and gangers.
Just a real mana in the desert this episode.
Yeah. No, for real. Like, this is like the last point at which I'm like, this era of the show's pretty good. And then it just kind of like slowly, well, not so slowly, but it just kind of like tanks after this.
Yeah, I mean, there's like one more really good episode this season, but the rest are like middling to like offensive.
It's so funny to me that like in the same season we get like an episode like this, which is like top 5 of all time, and then like Wedding at River Song.
I know. That's sad.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we have the Girl Who Waited to look forward to, at least. That's a good one.
Yeah, that one's good.
That one's good.
It's a good one.
We got a while to get to that one, but
I'm struggling.
Eventually.
I'm struggling to remember. I remember liking Name of the Doctor. I'm struggling to remember any banger 11 Clara episodes.
Rings of Akatan is really good.
I liked the one. I liked the one about the ghosts. There was like
a
ghost
I like
story
that
thing.
one too.
The Ghostbusters one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that half of that season I think is remembered poorly because everybody doesn't like that Clara doesn't have a personality yet. Which, fair. But the episodes themselves are not that bad. Bells of St. John, Evil Wi-Fi, that's not great.
Stupid.
But it's pretty stupid. But everything after that I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, just disappointing because banger title, middling episode.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was a Clara one.
Yeah, like because you were talking about like the TARDIS is a maze. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just Journey to the Center of a TARDIS. So we got that episode anyway, and it was stupid.
Yeah.
Oh man! But
don't call it that if you can't fulfill the promise of it.
For real.
Call it like maze or something really generic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Death
the
maze.
Center of the TARDIS.
Yeah, geez Louise. So it was a style at the time, giving them big banger titles. So we began on House, an asteroid voiced by Michael Sheen, but we don't know that yet. And we meet Auntie and Uncle, and briefly and tragically, this is the only time we get to meet Idris, the actual young woman, that is about to have her consciousness evaporated and occupied by the TARDIS. And it's worth noting, and I'm not saying this is like a fault of the episode or like a criticism or a notch, but it's like an element of tragedy that like this woman is kind of like scrubbed out of existence and never really mourned by anyone, including the Doctor and Rory and Amy. They kind of don't even really make reference to the fact that this used to be a person. We don't, for all we know, she was as culpable. I mean, she, as like responsible for the deaths of the Corsair and Time Lords, just like Auntie and Uncle and Nephew, but also a victim in the same way that those characters are. So kind of
we don't even know where she came from or like what she's doing there.
Right.
Yeah. We don't really know anything about her. She is but a vessel.
Yeah. She didn't have a body at the end of this.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah, I like this. I like their vibes. It's very Auntie and Uncle are very like classic Who coded to me. Like they feel like this almost feels like the opening of a Robert Holmes story or something.
Oh,
You know, like the way
Yeah.
you've just got these two characters that are just carrying on.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that's the vibes, I think. It's very classic Who coded, and I really like that.
And also the time I found it very, very gamey. Just this kind of like
Mhm.
ramshackle wandering fairy tale with like dressed in rags and called auntie and
Mhm.
uncle, again, like very kind of Coraline-esque.
Mhm.
Very much so. Yeah.
So Idris has her soul, her body occupied by the soul of the TARDIS. Meanwhile, back on the TARDIS, we get a fucking laughable, just stapled. I couldn't help but chuckle at the like when Rory and Amy like, you know what I'm thinking about, how we got killed on the beach and it was 200 years ago. Yeah, but we can't talk about it. Anyway, back to the episode. I'm like, great work, Steven.
Yeah.
Seamlessly done.
Yeah. It's true. Though, well, okay, you're right. But also, to be fair, this was supposed to be right after that episode. Not with a pirate episode shoved between them.
Definitely.
So it probably wouldn't have felt so shoehorned if it had literally just happened, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah, if they were like talking about the events of the episode they just left. But instead they were like like it should have just been like the fact that he died on a beach, or that we just like were with a bunch of space pirates. You know. Yeah.
It's another really Moffat-y thing is like the first time, we cut to you back to the TARDIS and the Doctor's like, and then we found out that, it wasn't actually the King Arthur robot. It was a robot, and we placed his head, and Arthur Darvill was like, that didn't really happen, did it? And Amy's like, I was there. Like that's
yeah. Which is I really like that, because it's funny, because not only is it funny because the story is ridiculous, but it's also the fact that like she's like, no, it's true, I was there. And it's like he's telling the story as if neither of them were involved in any way, but she was literally there, but she's not like part of the story. Like, I just think that's a very like 11th Doctor thing.
So he's just telling the story to Rory? Like,
yeah. Like, yeah, I was there. Like, it's very funny to me.
No, this is peak 11. This is like he's wearing this role like an old suit at this point, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like how well thought out the 11th Doctor feels, in terms of like all of his mannerisms and everything. Because he's not like so many actors, they come to the Doctor and they're like, I'm gonna kind of bring myself to this character, you know. Like I think of like Capaldi, and I certainly think of like Ncuti Gatwa. That feels like very like I watch like interviews with him, and it's like, yeah, you're just that's you. Like you're just the like you brought all of yourself to the Doctor, you know. But like Matt Smith is like playing a character, and I think that's really interesting, because I don't think, other than like maybe like Jodie, I don't think a lot of them do that. Like a lot of the actors who get cast as the Doctor, they're kind of playing a version of themselves. And so it's very interesting whenever an actor chooses to like put on a character. And I was just noticing that like a lot this time. 'Cause even like, you know, Tenet, it's like, yeah, that's kind of, you know, you're a little more like
dashing.
I don't know, dashing. Just like a little more like random and you know, hyper, you know, than he probably is in reality, but like it's still very like David Tennant. Yeah, like the 11th Doctor is such a character. It's very interesting to me. Matt Smith's a really good actor, and I wish he had more of a fair shake at that. He's doing okay on TV though, so
yeah,
good. He's still on the Dragon show, right?
Yeah, he did The Crown, and he was great on that.
Oh
too.
yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was great on The Crown. Great in House of the Dragons. Consistently carried Morbius on his back.
He certainly did. He certainly did at that. He probably shouldn't have, but he did.
Pretty solid in Last House on the Last Soho on the Left, or whatever that movie was called. Last Night in Soho.
Oh, Last Night in Soho. Yeah, he is good in that. Yeah, he gets to play like a character in that though, so that's kind of why he's really good at doing that.
Mm.
Kind of whatever we call whatever British people call greasers. That was good. His kind of. And so, the Doctor's is interrupted. Story time is interrupted when he gets a knock on the TARDIS, and he opens it, and there's like a little cube, and he's like, "I've got mail." I love the flail he does when it like the package like collides in him. It was very like, yeah, that's a GIF. I've seen that before. And it's a mail. It's a mail cube from a Time Lord, specifically the Corsair. And he's like, "Oh my God! Like all there's Time Lords outside of our universe, so we have to like do something we've never done before. We have to leave our universe. Hang on to your hats, Rory and Amy. We're about to leave this universe." And it was interesting. I mean, like, yeah, this probably was like really a novelty back in 2010, but it just kind of it made me think of how much universes would come to play during like 13's era specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's in retrospect. I was thinking about how interesting that is. I was like, oh, it's interesting that he's leaving the universe. I
kept thinking about 8 and Charlie.
Right, yeah,
with that with the outside the universe thing, and I'm like, this episode would be so weird with these two, like those two, instead of like 11 and the Pawns.
That's true.
We've never left the universe before. We don't talk about outer world or whatever the fuck.
We don't talk about the time we did.
We certainly didn't.
Yeah. So they land on House, or at least what we will come to know as House, but they just see it as like a junkyard asteroid, which is kind of a really cool idea of like a TARDIS graveyard. It's like littered with dead TARDIS,
and it looks great because it looks like a quarry.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
Love a quarry.
Yeah, they shot it in a quarry.
Yeah, we need an episode that's a love letter to quarries.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we meet auntie and uncle and nephew, who is an Ood, and I love Levin's like, "Oh, great, an Ood. Oods are good. Love an Ood. Hey, Ood." And he tries to fix the Ood's communication sphere, but never does. And we hear like the distress signals, a cacophony of distress signals coming from disparate Time Lords who have been trapped here. And then we meet Idris, and God, yeah, this is totally a Moffat episode, because seconds into meeting the Doctor, the Idris is like, "I'm gonna give you a quirky girl kiss on the mouth. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, mouth kiss. Whoa, is that a kiss?" But like,
I love biting. It's like kissing, but there's a winner. Like that's such a fucking Moffat line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, come on. Like it's so clear in retrospect how much this is rewritten by Moffat. You know? Yeah,
love it. So the Doctor's like, get that woman away from me. I'm having none of that. I just got Amy to stop doing that. So they lock Idris in a cage while they're like, Doctor's figuring out. They meet House, and House is like, "Oh, hello, Time Lords. Oh, you're the last one? That's too bad. I love Time Lords. Love a Time Lord. Welcome. Have fun. Walk around. Tickety see." And when we cut back to Idris, I love, there's like a really poignant runner that she starts of like, "God, there's a word and I can't think of it. It's why is that word so happy and sad and big?" And we will learn at the episode what word she is talking about. And then also kind of Moffat-y, also kind of like Blink, of like she's saying isolated phrases that will come in, like the fish have fingers and just stuff like that will come into play later in the episode.
I really like her whole thing of like, like the idea of like she calls the Doctor her thief, but also is like, but I stole you, so we stole each other. Like it's also like cute and just like it just makes you like it just makes you tear up because it's just like, oh, they love each other so much. Yeah. It's also like very I mean, obviously, like, Moffat has talked about, I mean, clearly he adapted it, at least half of it, but he's a big fan of The Time Traveler's Wife, and that's what inspired, certainly what inspired River. But I also think that there's a more than a little bit of Time Traveler's Wife here as well, with the way that Idris is reacting to the Doctor and the way that she is, she experiences time like all at once. And so, she can like make references to like later things, like how she pre-saves like future desktop backgrounds for the console rooms and things like that. And she's like, how can you do that if it hasn't happened yet? And she was like, I just can't. That's what I do. And I don't know. Like I just love everything about the way that she's written and the way that she sees her relationship with the Doctor and how sort of like equal they are. And the only thing that makes it feel like it's not that way is because the Doctor, we understand the Doctor more because he's experiencing things, in an order. And she isn't. So she feels a little more random and everything, but it's just like, I don't know. I just really like their relationship a lot. The way it's depicted in this it's perfect. And I think it's the reason why this episode is such a classic, is because like they just nailed it, I think.
Yeah, I think because it's kind of like a fine line to walk between like the quirky, like timey-wimey, like dialogue stuff, and also like bringing a sense of like of I don't know if gravitas is the right word, but like a sense of like this character is familiar, and like we're kind of figuring it out with the Doctor as to why that is, even though we like watch it happen. I don't know, like it's a really interesting performance because it's just like, oh no, like this feels like a friend that we've had for a really long time,
Finally being able to talk.
It feels really natural.
Yeah.
So the Doctor, as quickly as he can, whisks Amy and Rory away. And rule number 1, the Doctor lies. He tells Amy that, oh no, my Sonic is in my other jacket, and Rory's like, you have another jacket? And like, yeah, go to the TARDIS, and then locks them in. And it's great because like this has to be a dance between the two of them, Idris and the Doctor. So the Doctor comes to Idris and he's like, how did you know? Oh, he finds so Idris says the cubes are going to make you mad. And the Doctor's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then later he sees all the cubes, the distraction signals from the other Time Lords, and discovers that they've been luring and killing Time Lords for like 500,000 years or something. And he's like incensed, and he sends Uncle and Auntie away, basically run. And then he goes to Idris and, how did you know that the cubes are going to make me angry? And slowly it's revealed that Idris is the TARDIS of like, you stole me, I stole you. I'm like, no, I borrowed you. And it's like, borrow implies that you would return something back. What makes you think I would ever give you back? And it's I think that what's crazy, it's almost impossible to remember what Doctor Who was like for me before this episode, because it is like the Ood, like Nephew at some point. We are now breathing this episode in. Like it is impossible not to talk about the TARDIS like she's Idris. Like they aren't on this adventure together,
Yeah. I hesitate to bring this up because of the outside the episode ramifications of this, which are better left probably unsaid. But know that it's on my mind when I say this. But the idea of this episode revealing that the TARDIS more or less consented to being stolen, because she's like, no, I stole you. And he's like, but I stole you, you know? And like the fact that like we've known for all this time that the TARDIS has been sentient to a certain extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a living thing, you know, it grows. A TARDIS grows out of a crystal, you know? And it's this whole thing. And so the fact that you get this sort of like reveal that like she not only is totally fine with it, but also would never give him up, would never not want to be doing what she's doing. I just think it just adds like a layer of kind of like romance to the whole thing, like capital R romance, where it's just like these two love each other and they go on adventures together. And sometimes there's a third. But
or like 5.
But in general, it's just these two
Yeah.
bumming around the universe together. They're just
Mhm.
this perfect pair, you know? And I just love that. So, yeah.
I love the line of like, are all people like this so much bigger on the inside? Like that's just, it takes my breath away. And it's kind of like Moffat, one of his greatest gifts as a writer is just his ability to find these really romantic, like deeply, you know, meaningful statements that are like woven into the mythology of the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
a TARDIS
Yeah.
being bigger on the inside. Well, isn't that true of people? You know, and it just realizing that in the moment, you know.
Yeah. So good.
I love, you know, like later when they're arguing in the junkyard of like, you know, it's like, yeah, like, yeah, you run around, but you know, I love you even though you pick up strays. And I love the idea that that's what the TARDIS sees these companions as. It's like, oh God, another one.
Where's this one gonna pee?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that same argument though is like, I think my favorite concept that I take away from this is just like, well, you never take me where I want to go, and it's like, no, I take you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, I think like that has fundamentally changed the way that I like interact with this show
Yes.
since then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The idea, I mean, we bring it up all the time on this show of like, why did this happen? It's like, oh, well, the TARDIS must have sensed that the Doctor was needed here. And like, because I mean, oh God, the fucking like the back and forth of like, you know what? Since we're able to talk to each other, you're not very reliable. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to go somewhere and you don't take me where I want to go. And she's like, no, I take you where you need to go. And that just kind of, it's like a bolt. You just see him receive that and it just kind of reorients him. And it's like, oh my God, like, look at, what if we did this all the time? Like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm finally able to talk to you. You're like the most important being in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the only thing I will go ahead.
What's your name? Oh, 700 years, finally, he asks. Like, that's...
I love all of that. But it does make you think, like in the same way as like Solo, a Star Wars story, makes you think. Like you kind of just want to be like, can you not like just make something so the TARDIS can talk to you all the time? Like, like why does it have to remain nonverbal? You know, forever? Like,
well, yeah. Well, so to cut, you know, so you know, Amy and Rory, there's a maze and the house is fucking with them.
It's the same fucking T-shaped hallway that they just keep shooting from different angles. Yeah.
Rory dies, you know, yada yada. Love. I mean, I it's still so fun when seeing Amy and Rory stumble into the old TARDIS console.
Yeah, which they knew they were going to do because it was written into the script, you know, that he when he wrote it in like 2009 or whatever. And so they were like, oh, okay, great. We'll just hold on to that set so that we can shoot this episode before we, you know, dismantle it and, you know, scrap it for parts or whatever it is they're going to do. Send it to a museum, whatever. And they ended up having to like hold on to it for like much longer because they delayed the episode. So it just like sat in storage for like a really long time so they could rebuild it for this episode. But I think it went directly to like the Doctor Who experience right after this. So yeah.
Cass, do you remember your reaction to this, 15 years ago, seeing Amy and Rory stumble upon this beloved control room?
Oh man, I think I was like fully crying at this point. I like I think I like cried my way through this episode. But even today, like seeing that set made me very emotional, even though we literally were just in it last week.
Yeah, I know.
I was just like, oh man, it's my old friend, the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing them in it, seeing them like, where is this place? It's like, no, you don't know what I know. Like,
yeah.
And seeing the Doctor interact with it when he shows up later, and he's interacting with that TARDIS, which we haven't seen him do since what the end of I guess the beginning of 11th Hour, when he's like hanging out of the TARDIS. That's like the last time that we see that one. But like the way that like he's like actually like leaning and sitting in the chair that was like never touched. You know, it was just like a prop in the background of the set, you know, but like as soon as Matt Smith is on, he's like, I'm going to sit in this chair. And you're like, yeah, I guess you would do that. You know, and it's interesting seeing him interact with this set in such a different way than, you know, Tennant and Eccleston did. But that being said, this was not what Moffat wanted originally. Moffat wanted to bring back a classic Who TARDIS room. He wanted the one from what is the one that's called, the wooden one?
Oh, the Gothic one?
Yeah, the Gothic one. That's what he wanted. He wanted to bring that one back.
That feels correct.
Yeah.
In the context
does,
of
right?
this. Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's the current Fourth Doctor one that we're in the middle of right now, Nick.
Cool.
Yeah,
I believe you.
But yeah, he wanted to bring that back, and they were like, "Nah, it'll be too expensive to like build a new console room." And I was like, "Even a console room from the '70s? Like, I don't know. I feel like
all the wood
that
paneling."
expensive." Yeah,
and the kind of like the fact that they have that each control room that you know from the show is like still in the TARDIS is a really fun idea.
Yeah, it's really cool. I also like how they get into the room with she gives the passcode, but then they have to like Amy has to figure out. And I also love that like she communicates with Rory, which gives Rory something to do. So then he's like, this is the code. And then Amy is the one who figures out how to use the code. So they both have something to do, which is like really cool. I think that's really savvy writing, in terms of figuring that out. But I like that she has to think about the stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was I've never seen somebody break into something
psychically
using that,
like mentally.
Yeah, psychically. Yeah. It's cool. I don't know. I really like that.
And it's sweet that her image of Joy is like her at her wedding.
Yeah, it's really good.
So they break into the TARDIS console room, and House is like, yes, now I'm in your universe. And you know, Idris has been saying the whole episode that a human body was not meant to be occupied by a TARDIS, so her body is shutting down and she only has minutes to live. And sure enough, when the body breaks down in the TARDIS console, the Doctor's like, oh, well, now where is this consciousness going to go, idiot? And then it, you know, immediately takes the TARDIS back and, you know, destroys House. But then we get this final like parting of the ways, this goodbye of like kind of going back to like, you know, Idris says something of like, yeah, like we've had so many adventures and hundreds of years of time, but this is the time that we spoke. And it's like, yeah, like even though there's no like plot kind of writing off of it, it's like, no, this can't happen again. Like this has to be the only time, because like that's, and the word that she settles on is alive. And that's the word. Why is that word so sad? And the Doctor's like, alive isn't sad. And she's like, well, it's sad when it's over. And even now, this is over. The Doctor's so fucking sad because he's like, no, like I want this to keep going. Like we get to talk. And he's like, no, but like I'll always be here. But this was special because this is the time that we were able to do this. And the ramifications of just that are so huge when you think about like our time with people is finite, and yet even after that finite slice ends, they stay with us in a larger sense,
Mhm.
even though this finite slice of time is just that, it's finite.
Mhm.
Which is so it's again wedged between the pirate episode and the ganger episode. It's just this like just kick in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and she keeps saying like, I wanted to tell you something, and she couldn't remember it, and then she finally remembers that it's hello. Like God.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like tearing up again. Like,
yeah.
I think, like, thinking about it this time, I think one of the things that I appreciate what this episode does is it kind of treats the Doctor like a companion,
Mhm.
you know? Like, because, like, Idris throughout is just like, how do you use these things? Like, you know, and it reminds me of, like, you know, post-regeneration Doctor where they're still, like, adjusting to this new body. And then, like, the companion is like, wait, what's happening? And like the Doctor is constantly like, what is going on? You know? So I like that it kind of like flips the script a little bit, where the Doctor is treated as like this, yeah, like, you know, like, I stole you, you know? I don't know. It's really good.
Yeah. I love this so much.
And then the episode ends and the Doctor's like, yeah, you know, I just love him in his little seat, you know, fixing up the TARDIS. And he's like, yeah, I made you guys some rooms, so you're, you know, go find your new room. And like, can we not have bunk beds? And he's like, fine.
Fine, get laid, see if I care.
Also a very Moffat.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I think that's a running gag. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, but of course, like the only way this episode could have ended is like the Doctor alone with the TARDIS. And I love the final moment. If he's like, can you hear me? Like, are you still there? And then the lever moves by itself. And then he's just this like indelible, timeless image that it will always be so precious of me, no matter how much longer the show goes on, of just 11 dancing with the TARDIS. And just this idea of these two beings just forever dancing through the universe together is so great.
Yeah. What an episode. It's so good. I mean, it really is. Like you said, Cass, it's like it's in that like top 5, like, just, you know, and like Nick said, S tier Doctor Who, like up there with like Heaven Sent and you know, just like all of those like all-time episodes. Like, I feel like each Doctor has one kind of like all-timer episode where you're just like, what? Because you almost don't want to count Blink because he's barely in that one, you know? It's like, that's just like an all-time Doctor Who, and you just kind of accept it for that. For me, it's like Silence of the Library or Midnight is like 10th Doctors. But like, I feel like this is Matt Smith's, like, they were to do like a you know, one of those, like, we're going to show like the best story from every Doctor. I feel like it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to pick a better one from the 11th Doctor than this one. I think. It's just so good. Yeah. So anyway.
And then I'd be fascinated to see what they pick for 13.
Probably the Fugitive of the Jadoon.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would probably be like the one they would pick for her.
The one in the country with the Weeping Angels, the countryside one.
That one's good.
That one's good, but it's like part of a overarching story thing. It's like
Dalek Time Loop.
Dalek Time Loop. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, Dalek Time Loop is pretty good. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, The Doctor's Wife. Classic.
Yeah, The Doctor's Wife.
Give it a watch if you haven't in a while. It holds up.
It really does. It's crazy. And I really genuinely believe, like, if you were like, I'm not going to rewatch this one because, like, the Neil Gaiman, I don't know, I feel weird about it now. give it another watch, because I think you're going to be surprised by like, oh, they're right. This is a Moffat episode.
Yeah.
Like there's so much Moffat in this. It's ridiculous. So give it another watch, and then maybe watch Nightmare on Silver and really feel better about your choices. So anyway. All right. Well, that's The Doctor's Wife. Next week we are talking about Mummy on the Orient Express, which will be my first time watching it since the first time watching it.
Yeah.
So
I think me too.
I don't even...
yeah. Okay, nice. Cool. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.